restarted the Facebook Live feed. Yes, apparently. So here's the thing. And again, for you young people listening, let this be a lesson to you, or as they say in some places, let this be a lesson to use.
Where is that? The Sopranos show?
I think so. Yes, certain areas of New York and New Jersey. Don't threaten the president with violence, because you will be paid a visit by the Secret Service, because whether you're serious or not, and obviously Tom Arnold, I'm quite sure not serious. You cannot do that. That is frowned upon in this establishment, and by this establishment I mean the United States. But I was thinking about it on the way here, and I was wondering, so what happens? Like, hello to, I see Jenny in the new live feed, as well as Christian Cunard. Welcome. What happens when someone like Tom Arnold says something like this that is threatening to the president, whether it be a literal threat, which I'm sure it is not, or just, hyperbolic in nature? What happens when, like, I just imagine you've got the Secret Service guys, they're hanging out, protecting the president, right? And then the call comes in, and it's like, oh, hey, guys, apparently Tom Arnold said something, so I guess a couple of us got to go over and talk to him, the eyes rolling. Or maybe they're excited about it. Maybe they're like, hey, I've always wanted to meet Tom Arnold. This is great. I mean, he was in True Lies with Schwarzenegger. He was married to Roseanne. This is going to be awesome. And maybe they're excited. Maybe it's like a field trip when they get to go do this kind of stuff.
Do you honestly believe that?
What?
The Secret Service that protect the president meet all types of grade A celebrities. Well, maybe with Trump.
You're burying the lead.
Celebrities don't go anywhere near him.
You're
C-list.
You're burying the lead, though. These guys got to meet Tom Arnold. Tom Arnold.
Roseanne doesn't call herself Roseanne Arnold anymore.
No, she does not, sir. No, she does not. But I just imagine, like, them showing up. Like, how does Tom Arnold react to this? Like, is he excited to see them? Because he's a very excitable boy. He's to reference the Warren Zevon song, whenever I see him on television, he often behaves as though he's just, downed 6 pots of coffee, each with 6 pounds of cocaine in him. He's just very, very manic. And I just imagine, like, they come to his door and he's like, hey, guys, I've been waiting for you. Thanks for coming. I'm really sorry about what I said. I didn't mean any of it. Is he all, like, excited?
Nothing more pathetic than a washed-up celebrity, particularly one whose celebrity...
Washed up?
Dependent on somebody else.
Up. How dare you, sir? You're speaking of Mr. Tom Arnold. Have you no dignity, sir? You no dignity?
Who but Peter...
Tom Arnold.
Who but Peter White are septuagenarian. What's a 7-foot-tall person called in English? Septuagenarian, be 70 years old.
Right. He is not that.
Septa-something, Peter White.
He's a septa-something, yes.
But for Peter White... Septa-something, host of the morning show, is probably the only human being who knows who Brett Summers is.
Okay, we're not talking about Brett Summers. We're talking about Tom Arnold. Now,
somebody that took their celebrity off of another television celebrity.
You have left me no choice.
I know Brett Summers never threatened Jerry Ford or Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, that you know of. That we know of. Now, you have left me no choice. I have had to now pull up the Wikipedia page of one Mr. Tom Arnold. No, Mr. Tom Arnold. The accomplished actor that he is. He's an American actor and comedian,
When's he last been in anything?
Well,
he had a budget over, say, $1,000.
Well, according to this, he is best known for starring alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger in True Lies in 1994, earning a nomination for the MTV Movie Award for Best Comedic Performance. Hey, that's not nothing.
It's close to it.
And then in the next paragraph, it mentions a bunch of other stuff I haven't seen that he's been in. So there you go.
When's the last time he's been in anything?
He's been on TV a lot promoting his show, The Search for the Trump Tapes or something that's on Vice TV. Very exciting.
He doesn't have the Trump tapes?
Well, no, he's in search of them. I believe that's the premise of the show is he's in search of the Trump tapes. But when he finds them, he's going to get that Trump, I'll tell you. See?
He is?
Yes.
Huh.
Well, I'm looking at his filmography. There's a whole bunch of... I haven't seen most of these movies. Some of them I haven't even heard of. Anyway, the point being, he's Tom Arnold. He's... let's not minimize his fame and his imprint on American culture.
Only in Trump land can Kim Kardashian be a major lobbyist and Tom Arnold be brought back from the Z-list celebrity dead.
Oh, Z-list celebrity dead? Okay, yeah, tell me
Was
this.
that one of your bands? Or
Tell me this, okay? He was on the 3rd season of the Australian TV series I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Okay? Yeah, tell me again about Mr. Z-list celebrity, huh? Yeah? What do you have to say to that? He was on season 3 of that show in Australia. Oh, but he's a Z-list. Oh, yeah. What has he ever done? Right, sure. He's practically an Academy Award winner.
there used to be a catchphrase in 1968, something to do with your bippy.
He played Elvis Bertrand on an episode of NCIS New Orleans, season 3.
NCIS New Orleans.
You're just gonna dismiss that. Oh no, he's never done anything. What's Tom Arnold ever done? I've never even heard of Tom Arnold. Who's this guy?
I've never heard of NCIS New Orleans.
Oh my goodness.
Have you? I mean, there's an NCIS everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Hooks at New Hampshire.
I think yes.
Las Vegas, where it started.
Yeah, I actually had a walk-on role on NCIS Hooks It, but it never made it to air. It was a pilot. It didn't get picked up. In 2009, he was in a movie called Oranges. I mean, come on.
2009 is the last time he's been in anything?
No, there's been other stuff. That jumped out at me because who doesn't love a delicious orange? That's all I'm saying. He was in My Big Redneck Wedding, which was a TV series from 2008 to 2008. Anyway, so yes, Tom Arnold has threatened our president, Donald John Trump. And while I don't wish to beheading, I believe was the term that he used. Hello to Derek Relaford, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. I'm sure Derek understands the greatness and
the glory.
I mean,
the power and the glory of your favorite president, a man who can walk on water.
No, I was referring to Tom Arnold, the greatness of Tom Arnold.
Well, our favorite president is so fearless, so courageous. He doesn't have to go to a war zone to meet veterans.
That's right.
To prove his bravery.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, this guy...
FDR, who was a cripple in a wheelchair, went to Casablanca, where he was under threat, and had to share Stalin's villa, by the way, because, the treacherous Vichy French were still around.
Yeah.
But that's mere cowardice compared to our hairy-chested, Trumpy cat president.
Hairy-chested? You've
hairy-chested?
seen Trump's... Yeah, I was going to say, how have you seen Trump's chest? I've never seen his chest.
Maybe he wears a merkin.
Unlike Barack Obama, who, we saw pictures of him shirtless at the beach.
I shouldn't have said anything, but Mike Craig...
It's just odd that you would know that.
The first hunk of the Queen City did have a discussion with Melania, who was the first, whatever the equivalent
about Trump's
hunk
hairy
is
chest
of the United States. They shared a few details of what it's like to be married to the numero uno person in their respective field.
Now, see, Trump...
I don't think Joyce has a hairy chest, but, who knows?
Trump is able to... Trump is able to walk around with bone spurs and everything. So, when he does go and visit the troops, he'll be...
That's why he can't go out in the rain, because of those bone spurs.
That's right. Yes, yes.
And because of William Henry Harrison, the ghost.
And did you know... I
warned him.
I don't know if you know this, but many of the places where we have troops currently stationed around the world, they get precipitation. He's supposed to just go there and visit when it might rain?
I thought he was supposed to go to Fort Trump in Poland,
There's a Fort
Trump in Poland? He might have been attacked by somebody, an illegal immigrant there with a huge knockwurst. Oh, they call it kielbasa there, yeah.
I was going to say knockwurst. That sounds like some word that we're not supposed to say on the air or something.
That's German food.
Oh, okay.
Deutsch.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Knockwurst.
Wee or something. It's all Europe.
Schnitzel's verse.
Sure. Wiener Schnitzel, is that a thing?
Kielbasa.
I think I've heard that once. I think there's a...
Poles are known for their big kielbasas. Well, they are big. Have you ever seen a kielbasa that wasn't big?
Can't say that I've given it much thought.
You've never eaten a kielbasa?
Let me put it this way. I prefer a patty over a link, if you know what I mean. Just
like Archie Bunker.
Exactly like him. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly like him. By the way, did you know that Trump has given himself a nickname? He now wants to be called President T, which I think is wonderful.
Why T and not D?
I think because his last name is Trump.
And, if he did use President D, that guy that's on Fox and Friends, they might get confused.
That's right. Steve
yeah.
Steve Ducey would get confused, yes. According to Mediaite, Trump gives himself praise, of course, and a new nickname. Well, by the way,
for Tool?
The problem is, though...
I can think of some
how
words
dare you, the greatest president in the history of all creation, even greater than the presidents that are in the Bible. I mean, that's how great he is.
You need to revive...
Clearly, hairy chest and all. But here's the thing. So, a nickname, I believe, this is how I was raised, okay? A nickname isn't something you give yourself. A nickname is something others must bestow upon you. My nickname in high school among my friends was Connarton, which is just Connarton mispronounced, because the first day of school, teachers would be doing the roll call, and they'd see my last name, and they'd be like, Matthew Connarton? And so all my friends started calling me that. But
I don't believe you.
I couldn't go. No, that's actually true. But
I don't believe you because your name's Covington.
Well,
Joel told me.
Actually, no.
I was with Joel today.
It's actually Connington, but...
he has the evidence.
It's actually, it was changed at Ellis Island when my ancestors came to this country.
From Russia.
They were immigrants.
Bering Strait.
Well, that too, yes. I'm
two different branches.
Yes, yes. There are many branches in a family tree. Ooh. But yes, so you don't give yourself a nickname though. That's not cool.
Why not?
You're not supposed to give yourself a nickname. A nickname is supposed to be something organic. This isn't. What I'm saying is this isn't going to stick. And you know how much I revere our president. I want him to make good choices, and this is not a good choice. You can't give yourself a nickname. But here's what he tweeted.
I bet you can.
Well, he apparently...
It's a free country.
Well, he could do an executive order saying that it's now acceptable to give yourself a nickname.
How about TT?
TT?
TT.
Why?
How about DT?
Well, DT, yeah. Well,
Trump.
There probably is someone... Well, DT for Donald Trump. I'm sure there's somebody in his life who's called him DT.
Feels like we have delirium tremens in this country, does it not?
It does.
Yeah.
What he tweeted is, so great that oil prices are falling. Thank you, President T. And that, which is like a big tax cut to our other good economic news, inflation down. Are you listening, Fed? By the way, so if any of that was difficult to follow, it's because I don't know what that meant, actually. A little grammatically challenged, President T. I'm going to call him that because I love and revere him.
Did you read about the gal that spent tens of thousands of dollars to have herself transformed into Ivanka Trump?
Oh, no.
She had a Brazilian butt lift, too.
Wow.
Thing is, she's...
I've thought about that.
Say what?
Yeah, Brazilian butt lift. Can you even imagine? And I know
their flanks. Yetis don't have butts.
This is going to be uncomfortable to hear me say this, but I'm just going to say it. Can you imagine how sexy I would be if I had a Brazilian butt lift? I know it's uncomfortable because we're a couple of heterosexual dudes here talking, but just kind of put that aside. If you're
swallowed my scotch.
If you're secure in your masculinity,
it went down the wrong hole.
You can acknowledge that I would be. I'm not saying you personally would find me sexy. I'm just saying in the broad sense, I would be awfully sexy if I had a Brazilian butt lift. I dare say I would be sexy.
I can't have one. I have no butt.
Well, if you have it you do. It's
tragedy.
That's why you have it lifted.
Even your stump is bigger than my butt.
But I wouldn't want to have the butt lift and then look like Ivanka. I would want to look like me, just a sexier version of me.
A sexier version of
Well, I know
Ivanka.
it's hard to believe.
President T.
Well, he's just, he exudes sex appeal naturally with his hairy chest, apparently.
Mike Doyle, are you out there? Tell us who you think would be a sexier version of your favorite president.
Ooh.
President T.
Ooh.
Who would be a sexier version of?
Well, I don't think
President
there could
T.
be a sexier version of President T. Heidi Hamer joins us in the Facebook live chat. Sexy. She says, well, hello there. Did you see the Russian red trees at the White House? There are Russian red trees?
Thank God for, geez, I don't even know. I can't even come up with a stunning non sequitur.
Right. Also,
or even a non-stunning non sequitur to that.
hello to, I'm going to butcher this. I apologize in advance. I'm sure
I apologize.
Ed Versalis Jr. in the
Versailles.
Facebook live chat. Is it, you think it's Versailles? It
Yeah,
doesn't,
he's related to Zolio Versailles, who
Doesn't
won the
look
MVP
like-
in '65.
doesn't look
Minnesota
like,
Twins.
doesn't look like Versailles.
Is it Versalles?
No,
Oh.
it's close. It's Verallis. I don't think that's Versailles.
He has nothing to do with baseball.
Well, Ed, feel free to clarify. Perhaps you could type it out phonetically in the Facebook live chat. I'm a stickler, as everyone knows, for
Stickler.
saying names correctly, whether it's Kim Jong-un. You know, it's very important to pronounce that correctly. He's a world leader. Or, of course, our good friend Paul Cormier, who has assured me I'm the only one who ever pronounces his name correctly.
Joe Lavasse,
Joe Lavasse, yes, absolutely.
whoever that is, but we've heard his name bandied about.
I have, yes. Heidi says, Melania decorated with red trees. Check it out. Red trees. Well, it could be red for Republican. Doesn't mean red for Russian or red for commie. Although she is from a communist country, isn't she?
She is Lower Slobovia.
Lower Slobovia. That's
Oh, yeah.
about as commie as it gets.
One of the coldest places in the entire world.
Cold weather makes people commie pinkos.
Yeah, because the Soviets stole all their coal.
That's right. All their coal.
They're like flying squirrels. They had to bundle themselves together to share heat, warmth.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't do much for creating an industry, though.
That's why she married President T, to escape all of that hell.
I thought that was
With the
because she was
squirrels.
a model at his agency that many people claim was just a front for prostitution.
Well,
Not
there's that.
Not that I claim.
No.
I know when I used to do Hollywood, a lot of stars would fly to these European fashion shows and then sleep with the models who were 16 or 17 years old. Ooh, then there's Nick Nolte, which is another story.
Oh, what?
Nothing to do with underage models.
Oh, good.
I'll tell you about it afterward.
I hope you're not going to disparage the good name of Nick Nolte.
Let's just say, why would somebody go to the Tbilisi Film Festival?
Somebody or Nick Nolte?
Oh, I'm not saying any names.
Tbilisi?
Oh, yeah.
Where's that? Is that a
Former
country?
Soviet Georgia.
Oh. Tbilisi is in Georgia? It's a city in Georgia?
And you dare talk about international politics?
I know.
You've never even heard of Tbilisi? I have a question for you.
Yeah,
Mr. Smart
I actually
guy.
don't know where Tbilisi is.
I just told you.
It's in Georgia? Or it is Georgia?
Former in the Caucasus, it's not Atlanta and Macon.
No,
and
no,
that
no. I know.
place.
You mean Georgia as in Russia, Georgia, or former Soviet Union, Georgia.
Didn't I say former Soviet Union?
You did.
Did I?
I think so.
Did you need to have? I put my hoses down in my garage. I mean, or where did I put? No, my basement. I don't know why it started with a G. How are we going to wash out your ears?
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't-
pricked up right now.
I don't ever. I have a terrible memory of when I was a kid, when I was a young urchin, a wee lad. My stepmother would clean my ears with Q-tips, and she would,
Q-tips?
yeah, and she would get in there and like it hurt. I don't clean my ears ever
The
now.
size of your ears is probably like a wooden ladle or something.
Well, plus they're full of hair because of my Yeti heritage, which I'm proud of. But she didn't understand it. You take like a very, very small comb and you brush the inner ear here. It's hard to say that inner ear hairs. But she didn't understand that, so she just get at it with a Q-tip. And
oh my God! Before we get back to Tbilisi and your lack of knowledge of the world,
I know I'm very.
let's not talk about trimming
Tbilisi.
hair.
Tbilisi.
Trimming hair.
So is Tbilisi?
I think I got a hex on me.
Well, that's terrible. The Tbilisian X.
Yeah, I was dolling myself all up. When you're at my age, you have to trim a lot of hair.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's just not because fashions have changed from the Burt Reynolds look that I once sported.
You need a Tbilisian butt lift.
Oh, jeez, you have no idea what that would mean. You'd lose the quarter of your buns to
Well,
Russia, like Ossetia.
well, sure, but it'd be worth it.
Yeah, you could drive a pipeline through there, just like, former Soviet Georgia.
Ugh.
Le pipeline, as the French would say.
So-
They do.
They talk funny.
Oh yeah, the academy, when they had to have a word for pipeline, they couldn't make one up, so they have le pipeline.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, but you didn't know that, did you?
I actually did not. I didn't know that. I didn't know about Tbilisi. Tbilisi, is that what it is?
Okay, smart guy. What's the capital of Switzerland? Come on.
Damn, I know it. I actually do know it, but you're putting me on the spot.
Zurich is the big city.
You
with the
can't-
German part.
You can't put me
Bern,
on
the French part.
You can't put me on the spot. I'm not a dancing bear.
And where
I'm a
is
dancing
you know,
Yeti,
like the
and I don't actually dance.
League of Nations used to be located in Switzerland. What is the capital of Switzerland? While you're thinking about that, I got a question for the audience.
See, I know it too.
If Peter White in all his 7-foot tall glory was riding a bicycle at 10 miles per hour,
Switzerland City.
there is no capital of Switzerland.
Oh,
You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that. Why don't they have a capital? What are they, a bunch of commie pinkos?
They're a federal system, and they're even worse than the United
crazy.
States. The cantons are really
I gotta
independent.
open a window. How is it that it's been so
jeez.
cold and yet it still manages to be 1,000 degrees in
Did
here?
you spray again? You always get excited when we talk about your mother.
Well, that's that.
And
No,
ladles.
that's for Matt Connarton Unsheathed.
Ooh.
The Mother Talk. That's for a very different show that does not air here on WMNH. It is on the dark web, and I am legally prohibited from telling you how to find it.
Can't you forgive her? So she starred in the Short Shorts commercial. That was 40 years ago.
Oh no, I'm proud of that.
Oh.
I'm proud of that. I mean, who else can say that about their mom?
I can't say that about my mother.
And,
I don't
what?
think she ever was on TV.
Well, you could say that. I mean, who would know? Who would know you were lying?
Heidi Hamer would know.
Yeah,
She's
she would.
known my mother for years.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Is she like a surrogate mom to you?
Who? Heidi Hamer?
Yeah. Do you
Why
think?
would Heidi Hamer be my surrogate mom when we're the same age and we went kindergarten together?
Well, I don't know. I mean, in some parts of the country, it wouldn't matter.
Have you noticed?
I mean, and you've
in
lived everywhere.
Manchester that they say kindergarten, not kindergarten?
Oh, I noticed that when I was a kid. Like a lot of my fellows.
It's just not Manchester?
No, just in general. Like a lot of people say kidney garden instead of kindergarten. Yeah.
Kindy, not kidney.
No, kidney. Like when I was growing up, I had friends.
Where did you grow up?
I had friends who in Concord. I had friends who would
Concord.
actually say kidney, like it's like a kidney, like a garden growing in your kidneys or something.
I'm
which
talking about
is
adults.
a terrible affliction.
I call it kindergarten. Mayor Craig calls it kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
When I heard her say kindergarten, I said, "Oh, it's just not me." Just the
Wait, how
local
does she
thing.
say it?
Kindergarten.
That's how she says
Yeah.
it. Oh,
That's how I say it.
you don't say kinder. You say kidney.
Who would say kinder? I grew
Wait a
up with
minute.
There's no R's. There is an R.
What do you mean? There's no
There
R's?
is an R at the end of window, like, close the window. But in New England, there's no,
Wait a minute.
kindergarten. When I was
Are
at
you
DLI,
Yeah, there is kindergarten.
I
It's-
could not trill R's. And the guy
Me
who,
neither. I can't either.
the Russian who was teaching us said, "You're from Boston. You're never going to be able to do it."
But it is. It's kindergarten.
Everybody thought it was from Boston.
Kindergarten.
But that's not how you pronounce it.
That's how I pronounce it. How are you supposed to pronounce it?
That's because you're a big shot on the radio. You have to pronounce things
That's
right.
true. That's
Except
why.
for Zoli Versailles.
That's why I'm
and
such a
Versailles.
stickler with all these names like Kim Jong Un and Paul Cormier.
But yeah,
All right, here. Let's get the official.
it still
According to
stings,
Google,
doesn't
this is how you pronounce it.
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
it? And they got another R. It's kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
Kindy, G-A-H-D-E-N.
Kindy.
Kindergarten. Kindergarten. Jeez, you just listen to Lisa Freeman from
Kindergarten.
South Boston. That woman doesn't have any R's in her vocabulary. I mean, I was wondering what her accent was from. It's from South Boston.
Well, no, it's like you said, though. It's because the R's have to go somewhere. So you drop the R's where they're supposed to be, and then you, like a word like window, you pronounce it winder, and so there's the R. There's the missing R.
I was
You just move
listening
them around.
to a thing with Robert Kennedy, and he has no R's, but he says winder. And, a lot of
Well, he
people
has
just
kind of he has that like L and R lisp thing going though. That's kind of a different thing.
Robert Kennedy's dead.
Well, had past tense, but he had that thing
No, he
like
didn't.
Mayor Menino. Yeah. He could Menino couldn't pronounce. I mean, well, he's kind of a mumbler anyway.
I think you're full of
But like he
expletive
just couldn't pronounce. Oh, actually, a great
I will
example.
bring that wax head in and have it hex you
Or
if you keep talking like this.
Barney Frank. He's got that. He's got the L and R lisp.
Yeah, I will never forget the time, the thing I said to Barney Frank, but I'll tell you it off radio.
Oh my goodness. Did you approach him the same way you did Debbie Wasserman Schultz? Is that what you're?
Oh, he's a nasty PR.
I've heard that.
Let's not get into that.
Hello to Ben Dion.
I was going to spell out a dirty word. That
No. Ben Dion from the Weekly Dion, which you can hear Thursdays at 6 p.m. live right here on WMNH 95.3 FM. And I believe they are back this week, if I'm not mistaken. The Weekly Dion.
Still extolling the virtues of Brussels sprouts, which are septuagenarian. Peter White's right. They suck.
I don't like Brussels sprouts either.
Jeez.
I bet Ben Dion pronounces kindergarten correctly because he is an educator.
Kindergarten.
So he's kind of has to, right?
Why does he have to do that?
Because he's in the field. He's a teacher.
Bet Einstein could have pronounced kindergarten, right? Because he's a crow.
You just pronounced it correctly. How come you were telling me a minute ago you say it wrong, and then I just hear you pronounce it correctly? You just said it right just now. Kindergarten.
I was looking in your eyes, and you mesmerized.
Yes. Well, that's what happens.
It does.
That's what happens.
Oh, yeah. Most of the time when I come in here, it's because I need to be mesmerized out of like some hellish depression. Although I feel great lately.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's why I had to shave my chest here.
Okay.
I think I got a hex on me.
Yeah, you mentioned
That's
that a
from
minute
Matt
ago. You have a
Connigan
what?
Uncut,
Who put a hex on you?
I don't know. It's got to be a woman.
I know who put a hex on you. According to this guy, Dan Gainor, this is from rightwingwatch.org, the mainstream media has embraced witchcraft. Can you believe this?
Well, I do. I actually do.
Yes, according to this, Dan Gainor from the Media Research Center, he's the vice president for business and culture of the Media Research Center, told Breitbart News radio listeners that quote-unquote pro-science media outlets shouldn't be trusted because they simultaneously run astrology columns and also accuse those outlets of embracing witchcraft. I had no idea. But, I mean, we do have, there are a lot of folks on the right who don't believe in science because they see it as some sort of sorcery. Here, there's a short clip here. Let's hear from his own mouth what Dan Gainor says about this. This is a stunning revelation that the mainstream media has embraced witchcraft. I can't believe this.
Look at all the pro-science people, all the pro-science outlets that run astrology. Hey, Washington Post, you want to bash conservatives about science. You run an astrology column. Hey, how many outlets do that? Vice does that. Broadly, and all these other whack job women's websites all have astrology because they've all embraced Wicca. You have one of the outlets has a witchcraft correspondent. They don't have Christian correspondents. They don't have faith-based correspondents. They have made-up religion correspondents because that's what's trendy in Hollywood and that's what's trendy in the media. But Hollywood and the media, they don't have any influence on our culture. They're not at all.
Yes, there you go.
Always remember Hollywood is synonymous with these people with like Rothschild and that.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, anti-Semitic overtones.
Yes.
Actually, yeah.
No, I believe you.
Anti-Semitic incidents are up some outrageous amount this year.
Oh, I know. Yes. No, Jenny and I have talked about that a lot on the show, the rise in anti-Semitism on social media and whatnot. It's quite shocking.
Yeah.
I mean, not just on social media, but social media is a pretty strong barometer of that. By the way, we were talking about Trump's tweets earlier and his new nickname, President T. An ex-aide of Trump, according to Mediaite, reveals how the president dictates his tweets, and he is meticulous with punctuation.
President T.
Grammar, not so much, and spelling, but apparently punctuation is very, very important to him. It says here a former White House aide dished on how exactly President Donald Trump crafts his frequently confounding tweets in an interview with Axios on HBO. Cliff Sims, who previously served in the White House communications office until leaving in May, explained to Mike Allen and Jonathan Swan what it's like when Trump dictates tweets to his aides. Sims said, quote, "He's meticulous with not just the words that he wants to use, but the punctuation. So he'll say, Jonathan Swan at Axios is an awful and terrible reporter, dash, capital S, capital A, capital D, exclamation point." Mr. Hopwood's getting a call. Sims added that he believes Trump knows the power of his social media posting, particularly the, quote, tweeting it spawns. Quote, "I do think that he's very cognizant of the power that he has to set the media narrative. I have seen him talk about something that he wants to tweet, ultimately tweeting whatever that thing is within literally a minute. Reporters are now retweeting his tweet with their own comments on top of it. Well, that's true. He added, quote, he goes into the private dining room and within 5 minutes, he can see this creation, how it's playing out on television, unquote. The New York Times reported earlier this month that Sims received a 7-figure advance for his insider account of the Trump administration called Team of Vipers. Oh, my goodness, Team of Vipers. That's like talking about snakes and stuff. How come he's able to write a book like that? I would have thought that they would have made him, upon his hiring, sign a non-disclosure agreement. But perhaps not. You would think they'd make you sign something that says, hey, don't go writing a book called Team of Vipers, because that makes people think of snakes, and they'll think ill of us if they read your book. Not that if you're a devotee of President T, as we are now to call him, nothing is going to discourage you from loving him. There's a little bit of Julian Assange news.
Oh, sorry about that. I had a call from Hillary Clinton.
Oh, wow.
She's going to be in town soon.
She's running in 2020?
Well, she's got her problems. She's being attacked once again for making infelicitous comments on Twitter.
She made infelicitous comments on Twitter?
Infelicitous, not insolicitous.
Infelicitous?
You're thinking she's soliciting me for sex or something? What kind of dirty-minded person are you, Yeti American?
That is what I thought.
Are you even an American?
Yes, I'm an American.
Never seen your passport.
How dare you?
You don't even have one of those licenses that you need the passport.
I was born in the woods of Hartford, Connecticut.
The woods, huh?
Yes.
That's what you call it?
Yes.
All right, we won't go there.
My God.
Is that before or after the shorts commercial?
Okay, these attacks on my heritage are hurtful.
Hurtful?
And I'm going to cry.
The day you see a Yeti cry.
Well, I cried the other day. Derek Relaford made me cry on Thanksgiving Eve right here on the show.
You made Dr. Jeff Cassell cry. Did you know that?
I made him weep with joy because he enjoys my show?
No, he's allergic to the spray of Yetis. He didn't know that.
That's almost...
He's actually here and he's sprayed.
Same thing. I mean, really.
It's kind of like worse than cat, you know what.
See, I don't know because I can't smell my own. Yetis can't smell their own. We just know what we did, and it's up to everyone else to deal with it. But now they understand it's our territory.
Oh.
But yes, according to lawandcrime.com, after major court filing fail, the government refuses to say if Julian Assange faces criminal charges.
They don't. Or they do?
They refuse.
What you say?
They refuse to say whether or not what you say is that what you say? What you say?
The next part I can't say.
Oh my goodness! Well, that's
what you say.
Yeah, it sounds like you're leaving a word out, kind of like Biggie.
And if you don't know, now you know.
He actually says something else at the end of that.
I know he does.
I had to take that out because it's not suitable for. Probably.
And if you don't know, now you know.
WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has or has not been charged.
He has or has not.
Has or has not, the government said in a cagey Monday court filing. How often do you hear a court filing described as cagey?
Never.
The Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press,
never,
RCFP, responded to the news that federal prosecutors had erroneously exposed Assange as a target of criminal charges by requesting that the government unseal Assange's criminal prosecution. The government's response? Get lost. U.S. Attorney for Eastern District of Virginia, G. Zachary Terwilliger?
Turnbuckle.
Terwilliger. It sounds like a character from a Mark Twain novel. G. Zachary Terwilliger. No, Terwilliger.
You're just anti-American. You don't like the good old American names.
I like names that are simple. A truly American name is simple, easy to pronounce.
Like your own name?
Like Smith or Jones.
Schmidt.
Or Papadopoulos. These
Jones
are nice American names.
Jones is Welsh.
Well, it's an American name now. We're claiming it.
Woof.
I'm claiming it. I'm claiming it for my country because I'm a patriot and I like good, simple American names.
Like Wood.
This
Anything with
Terwilliger.
Wood in it.
Wood's
Except Woody Allen.
Wood's a good name. James or Woods plural. James Woods. You know
No,
what?
that's going a little too far.
What's
Plural.
I'm
That
just,
sounds communistic.
I disagree. James Woods.
Well, he's
how
a right winger. He went
dare
to
you.
MIT. Has 100 some odd IQ.
And he played
At
Roy
least over
Cohn.
100.
He played Roy Cohn in a film.
Oh, who hasn't?
Well, that's true. I played Roy Cohn in a high school production.
Of Angels in America?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. You don't believe me, do you?
I don't believe that. No, I don't.
I didn't think you did.
Well, there's the Yeti Paradox.
I can't
All
prove it.
Yetis lie. I am a Yeti. You hate it when I bring that up.
I do hate it because it
That kept you out of the awards circle this year once again.
it did, and I deserve those awards, and I work hard for them, and I show up to these competitions fully brushed.
I think you're lying. You ran out of here.
Am I lying?
In your Mickey
I am a
Mouse,
Yeti.
Your Mickey Mouse shorts and and the suspenders.
Okay, I've never worn Mickey
I don't
Mouse
think you
shorts.
had a chance to.
I think you're mocking me and all that I hold dear.
What do they call it when you like brush a dog? Is
How-
there a technical term for that?
How would I know that? Grooming.
Maquillage or something?
They call it
Oh
grooming.
no, that's makeup.
They call it grooming, and that
Maquillage.
actually is what they call it
Oh,
for
wow,
Yetis too.
grooming. I thought grooming was when you cocked the leg up and when it went to town. Which, they had the
Oh.
97 out the other day, I hear.
That's when I spray.
Oh. Well, what do they
Oh,
call
my
it when you put
God.
your leg up and...
Yeah, maybe.
I call it gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to maybe
That's,
do some
shameful.
research, maybe watch a documentary on
I need to
Yetis because you know
to get the hex taken off.
you know so little about us. And
I know what I've seen.
maybe the hex is karma for all these terrible things that you say,
Well,
which are very hurtful.
they got the bounty back on Yetis in not Litchfield, Lewiston, Maine. Isn't that something?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to Lewiston, Maine anytime soon.
I wouldn't if I was you.
No. I'm going to stay in the woods right here.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Berry, Alderman Bill Berry, is in the Facebook live chat.
How's Leo Bernier? Does he still have the hovel next to you?
He says, hello, Matt and Hoppy, a.k.a. Vegan Hopwood. Are you a vegan now?
I ate some vegetables the other day. Does that qualify?
Yes. Did you eat anything else other than the vegetables?
Well, I had a couple hot dogs today. But they were all beef.
That
Whatever that means.
that makes
Maybe hooves, tail.
right. So you're not a vegan. Why is he calling you Vegan Hoppy
Well, I had
or Vegan Hopwood?
I had a vegetarian Thanksgiving.
Why? What kind of Thanksgiving is that?
What was served at the house I was at.
What house were you at? I think I know because I saw a Facebook. I saw a picture on Facebook.
Yes.
Were you at the home of a certain register of probate?
She's not yet. She doesn't get sworn in
I'm sorry.
until January 2nd.
Register of probate elect.
Right. Yes, I was.
And you had a vegetarian. They are kind of hippies,
It
aren't
was
they?
a vegetarian casserole. It was very good.
They're very.
Then they gave me one to take home. Oh, I still got their the thing that it comes in. It's kind of like a cracked turtle shell, which doesn't seem very vegetarian to me. But what the hell? They're into recycling, What the turtle was doing there, dying, I don't know.
I love Elizabeth, and her husband seems lovely, but they seem a little crunchy, if you know what I mean.
Turtles?
A little crunchy. No.
Oh, granola eating. Oh, yeah, they're a cup of communists.
I can kind of imagine them probably doing a lot of hiking in the woods,
Oh, yeah.
eating bark or something, whatever they do out there, hugging some trees.
It's good for your teeth.
Eating bark is good for your teeth?
You'd know that if you took care of those fangs, but of course you don't have to.
Well, we don't have to, yeah.
Like a shark, you've got all those rows.
Right, and plus we get a lot of calcium.
Excellent. I've deleted that. That was the dentist that called. It wasn't Hillary Clinton after all.
Oh, see, you had me going. I thought it was Hillary Clinton.
She did call, but that was months ago.
So the dentist is running for president in 2020.
She could.
Good.
She's from Texas.
It's great. She'll
She's a
carry Texas.
She's
That's
a liberal, though.
okay.
Liberal.
Right, but a liberal who can carry Texas. That's not something to be minimized.
Hey, it's coming close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hello to Fred Boenig from the Daily Ripple, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. Jenny says, replying to Heidi, I want a Hanukkah bush. All right.
Let's not go there.
Where? To the Hanukkah bush?
Oh, I was talking about. I had to groom my chest hair.
Well, that's a different kind of.
Going out on a date.
You went out on a date?
Yeah, and you never know what's going to happen, and you don't want to be out of fashion.
Who's the lucky gal? Do I hear wedding bells?
That's my problem.
What?
I already am married.
You are?
Yeah. Never bothered to divorce her.
Oh. I thought you couldn't marry her because she had never gotten a divorce.
Well, that was the other one.
Oh. So you're currently married. You're a married man?
2 or 3 times. I don't believe in marriage, so you need somebody to marry. Here I am. I come cheap, $15,000.
All right, so for $15,000,
I'll marry you.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah.
Hello to Ed Murphy in the Facebook live chat. Now, will you...
We all have to keep body and soul together, Matt.
Does it have to be a woman?
Yes.
Okay.
Preferably
What
a
are you
woman.
on?
Sometimes I've been tricked.
Homophobe.
What does that have to do with anything?
What do you mean sometimes you've been tricked? So you have married a man?
Not that I know of.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't always get to sleep with the individual.
Right.
It seems to be their choice.
Yes.
Not mine.
So they just marry you for you're like the trophy husband.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, I was,
marriage.
trying to be.
People need to be married, particularly in the olden days.
I was trying to be kind.
Yeah.
Oh, Fred says a dowry. Yes. So it's a dowry?
It's not a dowry. It's cash up front. I'm not going to marry you for anything afterwards.
Oh,
It's
okay.
got to be right here.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, U.S. dollars, baby. Then I do take Bitcoin though, even if it is dropping. Yeah.
That's
we
for
take
sure.
the Witcoin too.
The what?
Witcoin.
Witcoin?
Oh yeah, the Witcoin.
What's that?
Tom Arnold's Bitcoin.
Tom Arnold, the
Well,
great.
it's actually the half-wit.
Look, let's just be honest. I mean, the greatest actor of our generation. I didn't want to say that before, but I'm saying it now.
Who is the greatest actor of our generation? I'd say it's Donald Trump.
I'd say it's Tom Arnold.
Donald Trump. You Yetis.
That was
you
a
have
reality
no
show.
aesthetic.
It was a reality
You
show.
have no sense of aesthetic.
The Apprentice was a reality show. That doesn't count.
Then again, neither did Bertrand Russell.
Bertrand Russell, I know, right?
How many people know that Bertrand Russell was a Yeti?
Oh, God.
That's because Lord Russell bred with a Yeti at the London Zoo.
Guess who has a show on the Fox News streaming service?
Lord Russell?
Nope. Diamond and Silk.
Oh, jeez. This sounds like... it can't be Kim Kardashian, but it could be one of her offspring. Or whatever. There seems to be a billion Kardashians.
No.
Or how many kids did Bruce Jenner have before he realized he was a dame? I wouldn't marry him.
Her. It's her.
Him.
Bruce. It's Caitlyn. Caitlyn Jenner.
Now he's come out against Trump.
Right. Yes, he regrets wearing the MAGA hat.
You quit. You quit your TV show before we could run the great Can't Stop the Music video with Stinky Jerrod interposed.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
No interposing on the radio. It's theater of the mind. You'll all have to interpose in your own minds.
I guess he's tonight they're going to fry his ass at the school board. But,
Well,
that's why I'm writing something.
Oh, good, yes.
So far I've got Jerrod, and it says Madame Chairman. Now, do you call the chairman of the school board Madame Chairman? I don't know what people call it. Usually, when you go to the
Not
board
Madame.
mayor and all of them, you say, hey, mayor.
Be Madam.
I thought it was a Madame.
Oh, Fred says no.
Jesus.
Fred
Sorry, I never thought of that.
Fred was just with
I'm
his
sex happy.
his question. He was clarifying who gets the money.
I do. I get it all.
Oh, they have to pay you to marry you.
Where the hell? Why else would I marry them?
Doesn't that make you a prostitute?
Yes,
Okay.
but not no porta potty hooker
Right.
like your average New Hampshire politician.
Right.
Whereas here in Manchester, we have the assistant porta potty hookers.
Sure. Right.
Yeah, I consider myself, a high price call girl or boy or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to want to define the genre because apparently you won't marry a man.
Now I could,
even though it's 2018.
I could declare myself a woman and to marry a woman that wants to marry a woman. Thank you for that insight. You
You're
just
so
sent
full.
it to me. Thanks for the message.
You're welcome.
Few people know that you have a prehensile stump that can type.
Oh, I think more than 2 people know that. Hello to Stefan Philbrook in the Facebook live chat.
The man who shrink-wrapped Stinky Jerrod. Or was that somebody else at Alexander?
We'll move on from that. We'll move on from that.
Actually, they shrink-wrapped him.
Oh, that's fine.
I heard that from a third-party source.
Oh, okay. Lynette Hardaway and Rochelle Richardson, the 2 sisters known as Diamond and Silk, who have become public figures
Hardaway.
through their viral videos in support of Trump, have been awarded their own weekly program
on
Fox Nation. So it's going to be on the streaming service. It's not quite the big leagues. It's the farm leagues or something, to use a baseball reference. Even though I don't know anything about baseball. I'm not into them.
What's the first name? Are they married? Do they need to be married?
Married? No, these are good Republican Trump lovers. So why would they be married?
Well, they have to be married then.
They're sisters.
I'll marry them both. I have no.
Oh, you're going to marry them? Well, you can't marry them both.
I'll marry them both. I have to divorce the Trump sister that nobody knows about.
Mm-hmm.
Little do they know.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yes,
well,
you married.
Was a divorce.
You married Tiffany.
Tiffany, that's her name.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Case Trump.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name? Marvana or Melvana or Bill Bano or whatever. Had her right at Tiffany's, right there, dropped her. Stunning. I've seen the videos. You know, some people take videos, inside the delivery room, although they don't really like that anymore because of.
Do these videos have interposing of things?
Oh, it's got the time code. It's a surveillance video.
Oh.
Yeah,
right.
Tom Arnold. I think that's one of the things he's trying to get his mitts on.
The weekly offering. Oh boy, it's going to be a whopping 5 minutes long. The weekly offering will include 5 minutes of commentary focused on events of the day and casual discourse, according to the network.
What? Intercourse?
Discourse. Yes.
Who are Diamond and Silk? How 2 small-time ex-Democrats found fame as quote-unquote warriors for your favorite president.
Well, you know what their shtick is, right?
Shtick?
They're sassy.
Oh,
they're very sassy.
That means they're fat.
They're
sassy always means fat.
They are a little heavy.
Yeah, whenever you read,
hey, let's not sass shame in these politically correct times.
Whenever you read the personals, when they used to have them, you didn't have any pictures. Sassy.
They are a little.
That meant fat.
They are a little. They're
and bitchy about it too.
They're a little big.
There's some.
But they're beautiful.
Girls that are fun.
They're still very beautiful.
There's nothing wrong with being chubby.
They're diamond and silk.
But sassy means you're not happy with being fat.
They're just
Sass and Vinegar. What are their names? Sass and Vinegar?
Jenny in the Facebook live chat says, "What was that? Matt wants to get married. How about a hand fasting tea?"
A hand what?
I
charge $50 for that.
Well, that's not. Again, I think that, you can offer your services on Matt Connarton Unsheathed, but not on this program. This is very different. We don't allow that, and of course, no wagering. Also very important.
I'm not into wagering, except on life itself.
Well, yes. Well, life is a risk. Life is a wager.
It's a wager.
Oh, right.
Yeah, is it Pascal's wager?
I heard John Burt explain this once. Representative John Burt,
who likes hot dogs too.
He does. He's
an aficionado of the hot dog.
He's got the hot dog day every year.
Not last year, though.
You can go there and he'll
he's sassy.
He'll hand you a hot dog.
Mike Doyle's super sassy.
But John Burt once explained. He said he believes in God because if you don't believe in God. Well, no, how did he put it? I believe in God because if I'm wrong, what have I lost? But if you don't believe in God and you're wrong, what have you lost? To which I said, yeah, whatever. But I like the way he put that.
It's very sassy the way he put it.
I don't think I wouldn't describe that as sassy. You really think that's sassy?
He's sassy. Well, he was.
I don't think he's sassy. He's
not sassy anymore?
He's a good conservative Christian Republican. I don't think he's sassy.
They're full of sass. Or something else that ends with
that. We might have different ideas, different connotations of sassy.
Sass.
Or sass and sass. Sass and sassy aren't quite the same thing.
What color is sassafras?
It's not a. It's a concept.
Well,
it doesn't have a color, right?
Something that ends with. That's the color of sassafras. We got a lot of sibilants.
I don't think sassafras has a color though. It just is. That's like saying.
I want you to change the filter in this. My voice was all gravelly when I was all screwed up, and Vika told me it was really sexy.
Oh, she liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't you give me a gravelly voice?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let me push. I'll push this button. There you go. There you go. Now you got a gravelly voice. Regardless of how it sounds to you, to the listeners, you sound gravelly. You sound like Wolfman Jack. Actually, you sound like Wolfman Jack right after having a stroke. To be more specific. Yeah. I'm actually worried that you're having a stroke. Yeah. So should we call? Yeah. Should we call an ambulance?
No,
okay, good.
Matt.
All right.
Or I'm starting to sound like Sassy Shame.
Well, that upsets me terribly because I have terrible memories of Sassy Shame. That's actually
nemesis.
That sounds like Sassy, doesn't it?
Actually genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, he is a terrifying, but he's not a real. He's one of the. He's not even a Yeti with one T. He's that offshoot that begins with an A or something.
Offshoot that begins with
Maybe
A.
that's just a filthy word we used to call him. Lewiston.
Yeah, you think so? You think so?
Well, he is getting about $300,000 a year now.
For what?
Probably from all the fraud.
Oh.
It's not getting there. He does have the Church of Sassy.
Right.
He's sassy. Is that what we've been trying to beat around the bush? Sassy Shame. We took a vow never to talk about him. Ever since you snarled at me that time.
By the way, Ukraine has introduced martial law.
I married a woman from Ukraine.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
What's her name?
Natasha. I also married
That's
her.
a common name in Ukraine, isn't it?
Sister Volodya.
Oh, Natasha's much easier to say. Why
haven't seen
married them both at
Volodya
once?
yet. No, in separate times.
Oh.
Part of a family reunification package I offer.
Sounds to me like chain migration.
You could call it that.
Yeah.
I call it human trafficking.
Oh, good. Now, you can go to prison for human trafficking.
Oh, no. Kelly Ayotte would never let me go to jail.
Good.
She's my lawyer.
Wow. That's remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Okay.
I'm married to Kelly Ayotte.
Oh, you are? Wow.
Very few people know that. I hold that over her head.
Right.
In order to get her, the pro bono work.
Yeah, because if
that's the end of her, if they'd know.
If that got out,
even Joe doesn't know. Her husband doesn't even know.
Right. Well, yeah.
So
I can't imagine.
Tippling late at night over at Strange Brew.
Tippling?
And you're married.
What's a tippling?
You didn't know Leo Bernier, the former city clerk, can marry people right on the spot.
Oh, good.
That's coming very handy.
I don't believe I've heard the word tippling before. What is that?
Why do you think all those people are in tuxedos over near his hovel? I mean, he's in Rockingham County now, right?
Who?
But he still has the hovel next to you.
Who has the
Leo.
hovel? I don't know.
Oh, you're so canny.
I'm still trying to figure out what a tippling is.
Tippling. Tipple.
What's it?
Tipple.
I don't know what
Tipple's a drink.
Okay.
If you're tippling, you're drinking. Imbibing efficacious libation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or inefficacious libation.
So if someone asks you what you're doing, you say...
A libation's like...
Just the tippling?
A tippling is just drinking. But it's considered in a light-hearted vein. But when you have a libation, that's like a toast. And an efficacious libation really drives it home with all the good energy.
Is this real? Like, does anyone on Earth actually say tippling other than you? Like, I've never heard that in my life.
Sophisticated people do that have multiple lives. And I have women friends that have multiple husbands.
The affluent say tippling.
We're old-fashioned, though. We stay within the species Homo sapiens sapiens.
Wow. Tippling.
We wouldn't want El Baldessaro after us.
I feel like if I was hanging out with a bunch of dudes and we were like, and I said, let's go to the bar and get a tippling, I feel like I'd get punched in the face.
Let's go to the bar and tipple.
I feel like I would definitely get punched in the face if I said that.
How if you said, let's go to the strip club and tipple?
You know what, though?
They'd be all into it.
I run with a rough crowd, so that's part of my problem. I don't know if you know that about me.
Do you still have the $2 bills?
Yeah.
So you didn't go tippling at the strip club?
No. I run with a rough crowd.
Why they like $2 bills?
We have tattoos of $2 bills.
Oh my God, my $2 bills are gone.
Oh.
All my 20s are gone too.
Oh, well.
Holy smoke.
Well, let's take a... Oh, hello to Jennifer Morris, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. Hello?
Jennifer, do you need a husband? I'm very cheap today. I'm having a is it Black Monday or Cyber Monday deal today?
Now, she's...
$7,500.
She's already married, but as we've
she could be married
established,
again.
it doesn't matter. Right. Yeah. Wow. All right.
These are marriages in the eyes of the God Almighty, otherwise known as
President T?
Could be.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We don't name her name.
Oh, right.
We wouldn't want the show to be just disintegrate.
Well, that's why we don't call him that's why we don't call him Donald Trump.
Poof of smoke.
Right. Yes. Well, our very expensive demographic research does show that about 98% of my audience is evangelical conservatives.
It's little known that I'm married to Bill Gardner too.
No kidding.
Not
Wow.
the Bill Gardner who's Secretary of State.
Oh, okay.
It's
Billy
Gardner.
I was going to say,
You know,
how
she's
scandalous.
She's a cute little thing.
Oh, I've heard about Billy Gardner.
She's only, I met her through Joel Elber.
Mm-hmm. And she's about 2 feet tall. Is that what you were?
Maybe close to a meter.
Ed Murphy in the Facebook live chat says tripling involves a hamster and a string. Well, fortunately, you said tippling.
Oh, you mean the Richard Gere? He was a famous tripler.
Oh, wow.
We should have stuck to Tippling and that supermodel.
Yeah.
Cindy Crawfish, Crawdad, something.
Hello to Kenneth Ratliff in the Facebook live chat. Another new name. All kinds of new folks.
When we come back,
We're going to be famous.
Is going to tell you his choice for the Possum Queen.
Oh, boy.
Oh, the Possum Queen Festival is coming. It's not far away, man. I know you've made a fool of yourself, consuming many of the contestants.
Who does that song?
Terrorizing the children.
Possum Kingdom.
Who's the choice for Possum Queen?
That's
Who's the one that can't be eat at? Well, we say eat.
Once
here.
again, I've been put on the spot. I keep telling you, I'm not a dancing bear. I can't make these. Possum Queen. That's a big decision to just have to suddenly make on the spot.
Look how dark it is. Are you going to go through your transmogrification?
Well, that's why I said when we started the show, I was like, it's 4 o'clock. It looks like 8 o'clock outside. It's like midnight or something now. It's terribly dark out.
Midnight at the Oasis.
Frankly, I'm frightened.
Tie your Yeti up.
Jenny says Yetis are not cannibals, Hoppy.
But we're talking about eating possum.
I'm not talking about eating possum. That's disgusting. I'm a very fussy eater.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Well, it's a bit past the top of the hour. Let's take a quick break.
And you'll read the story about the man who got arrested for having sex with a dying beaver.
Is that real?
Wasn't that on the morning show? Well, we'll check it out.
We'll check it out, yes. We'll get the news team on it. I'm going to play a little something in honor of a friend of ours. This is from a program online called Red Bar Radio. I had to do a little bit of editing on this before as I was getting it ready to play on the air, but I think it's funny as hell. And I don't know, it just kind of reminds me of somebody. If you're a regular listener, you might know what I'm referring to. But take a listen to this.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Have some laughs, and then we'll be back with more Matt Connarton Unleashed in the afternoon. We are live on WMNH 95.3 FM.
I'm coming back.
Okay.
It was just UPS. Hold on. I'm trying to get to my seat. Hello?
Hello?
Hey! So, you're the adoption lady?
Actually, I'm the receptionist, but if you need to speak to a resource worker, I could transfer you.
Well, I'd like to order a couple kids. So, whoever I need to talk to, let's get this thing going. I need me some kids.
All right.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. This is Sandra. How can I help you?
Sandra, looks like me and you are going to be doing some business today. Hello?
Yes. How can I help you?
Sandra, looking to adopt about 3 kids today.
Okay. And what state are you calling from?
I'm calling. What do you mean? What am I calling from?
What state are you calling from?
Illinois.
I'm sorry?
Illinois.
Okay.
The Sunshine State.
There's a lot of echo on your phone. It's hard to understand.
Oh, there shouldn't be too much echo on the phone. Is that any better?
That is better.
Okay, so I'll take 3 kids, and when can I get them here?
Well, you need to go through a home study process, and that could take about 3 to 6 months.
No. I need these kids tomorrow by the latest.
Okay, well, that's not how it works, though.
Well,
you do need to have a home study completed.
No. What do you need to know? I'm a good dad. I'm going to make these kids work. We got the cages all set up. We're ready to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not how it works.
I want a
can give you
blonde.
the name and number to an agency in your area.
And I want only one girl. The others have to be boys.
Okay.
We're going to build all this stuff, so I need the laborers, if you know what I mean.
I'm sorry?
We got a lot of stuff to put together from IKEA, so I need the kids here to do it in time for Christmas. And I wanted to get my wife. I thought it would be funny. Tomorrow's our anniversary. She comes home, and I go, ta-da! And there's 3 kids standing there.
Right, but
so
like
there's no way I can
like
come
that.
and just pick.
What if I? Through a home study
but what about for
process.
pickup? What about for pickup?
Having a worker visit your home to make sure that your home meets space.
No, it's
and
fine.
Safety requirements.
I've got a dustbuster. I've got a mop.
Checks, so you'll be fingerprinted.
Whoa! Peering into my privacy now. No. Just give me the kids. They need a home. What are they going to eat? Oatmeal over by you all day? Come on. Let's get them out of them bunk beds and into my queen waterbed. Come on, let's get them over here. What do I got to do? How much will it take? $100 a kid?
Okay, I'm trying to explain to you that that's not how it works.
Okay, I know. Obviously, that's not how it works. But how about this?
Okay.
$25. I give it to you, and you just let the gate open, and I'll put the kids in my van.
That's not how it works. There are no kids here. There's no gate.
There's no gate.
No, the children are in foster homes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I meant. We'll meet at the foster home. You'll give me the keys. I'll go in there. I'll go, Tim, John, and you. Come on, let's go. We got stuff to do. And they'll go, finally, we have a home. And then I'll give them the home that you never could. So don't make the process hard. You got a kid sitting there in a cell. Let me get the kids. Give me the kids. Give me the kids. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
What part of the state are you in?
What part of the state? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's grass. There's a tree. It's a state. You know these states. You've seen them. Illinois, there's a state here. Over by us is Wisconsin, and then there's Indiana. I'll take the kids to any state. What do you want us to do? We can ice skate on the state lines. I don't give a f***. We'll use it like a tightrope. Look at this. We're walking state lines. Me and these kids, there's no stopping us.
Let me connect you to someone who might be able to assist you. Please hold.
Unless it's a insane asylum, I don't think it's going to work. But, yeah, okay. Ooh.
Lydia speaking. How could I help you?
Yes, I would like 3 kids for pickup, please. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to adopt some kids. The woman on the other line was saying something about 7 or 8 months. I need them tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So...
Are you a licensed...
yeah, I got a license.
Parent?
Of course, yeah, everyone's got a license. When I was 16, I got my license.
Oh, really? Okay. Would you like to speak to a supervisor? Because
who are you?
know that this call is being recorded.
Oh, my God. Why are you recording me? Why are you recording me? You didn't ask for my permission.
I'm sorry. Because you're saying you would like 3 children. To my understanding, you're telling me that you want 3 children tomorrow?
Yeah, I want to adopt some kids. Why should that be recorded and used against me?
Okay, you need to become licensed in the state of Illinois to adopt or foster.
What kind of license?
Takes within 3 to 6 months.
No. There's nothing. I've seen the movies. You just come in, you go, I'll take him, and him.
Okay. Now, if you feel that I am not servicing you, would you like to speak to my supervisor?
No, I mean, you're giving up so quickly. Let's work this out. So what do I got to do to get this license? $15?
No. You would need to work with an agency.
What kind of agency? I don't need an agent. I want to adopt. I don't need management or an agent.
Okay. I think this call needs to be passed to my supervisor.
Okay.
If you would hold on,
Thanks.
I'll direct you to her, okay?
Sorry it didn't work out. I'm sorry.
Okay, just a minute, please.
Thank you. Can you get in trouble for wanting to adopt kids the fast way? I hope not.
Hello?
Ah, the infamous supervisor.
Well, I'm sorry. My supervisor is on the other line. Could I take your name and your phone number so I could have her call you back?
Sure, my name is Jeffrey,
Okay.
and the last name is Dahmer.
Good evening, I'm Glenn Willett, and I live at 112 Auburn Street.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Matt Connarton, Unleashed in the Afternoon. We are live on WMNH 95.3 FM, emanating from downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. It looks like midnight out there. John Hopwood is here with me.
And did I lie about somebody having sex with a beaver?
No, this is true, and you did send me the story. This is horrifying. Before we go any further, of course, I'll just remind everybody, we are on WMNH 95.3. We're also streaming at WMNHradio.org. We are on Channel 97 Comcast in the Manchester area, and, of course, on Facebook Live in the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. Kenneth Ratliff in the Facebook Live chat says, I don't think she gets it. I think referring to the adoption agency person, worker, whatever. That was Mike David. He does a show called Red Bar that you can find online. And I did have someone specific in mind playing that, but yes. Did you find that amusing, John Hopwood?
Yeah, a little overly long.
You thought it was overly long?
Overly long.
Oh. What would you have trimmed? What would you have done? I know brevity is the soul of wit. What would you have taken out?
I'd have cut it in half.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah.
Cut it in half. Oh my goodness, wow. So you did send me this, courtesy of USA Today. Man accused of sexually assaulting dying beaver and meth possession. Washington police say, no, this is not from The Onion. This is real. A man was arrested late Monday on an animal cruelty charge after he allegedly sexually assaulted a beaver in a park. Local media recorded. The incident occurred at Columbia Park in Kennewick, Washington, after a woman saw someone hit a beaver with a car, radio station KXLY reported. The woman then went home to find a box to bring the injured beaver to a veterinarian. Newspaper Tri-City Herald reported. When she returned, the woman found a man next to the animal. She initially wondered whether he was comforting the beaver. Sergeant Aaron Clem said, according to the newspaper. The man, however, was on top of the beaver. Jesus.
Come on, a dramatic reading.
Oh,
I don't think you can.
I can't on this. The man was on top of the beaver with his pants unzipped, KXLY reported. When officers arrived, the beaver was dead, Tri-City Herald reported. Quote, late last night, officers responded to Columbia Park for a report of a transient male having sexual contact with a wild animal, unquote. Kennewick Police Department wrote in a Facebook post on Tuesday, Richard Delp, age 35, was arrested on animal cruelty charge and possession of methamphetamine, police said on Facebook.
Yeah, that's some story, huh?
That's
If I was his a court-appointed attorney, I would just throw myself on the mercy of the court and say he had surrendered to the exigencies of love.
That's right.
Yeah.
He could not resist that beaver.
It's kind of like Al Baldessaro. Once same-sex couples start marrying, suddenly people want to have relations with a beaver.
Oh, Rick Santorum said that too. It's like, you let two dudes get married. Next thing you know, it's...
some beavers are
the
big as
beavers.
small, like medium-sized poodles.
That's right.
Well, at least they look that way when they're swimming past.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Yeah, those
they're a
are
lot bigger than you think.
those big beavers, yeah. I'm just I'm aghast that this goes on in America. But then again, I mean,
it's the Pacific Northwest. There's a lot of like
Yeah.
wild growing mushrooms.
yeah.
People are crazy. It's a totally blue type of area. You know?
We did have all the see now it has me questioning something though. So
Was the beaver transgendered? Is that what you mean?
well, no, that
Often
hadn't
they are
occurred to me.
hermaphrodites.
Well, I hope not. The Lord doesn't approve of
Gives
that.
a new meaning to go yourself.
Right.
yeah.
Yes. I do wonder though now when we had the dead squirrels, the squirrel apocalypse.
I saw one today.
Yeah. I wonder if there was something else going on there, if you know what I mean.
Well, they are driven by the exigencies of love. Not quite
Yes.
like rabbits.
That's right.
But their life revolves around nuts.
Running around with nuts in their cheeks and stuff.
Oh
and
yeah, and then
it's quite a world. It's I never saw anything like this on what was that show, Wild World of Animals or something? Or, that was Wild World of Sports. Mutual of Omaha.
Omaha's
Yes.
Wild Kingdom with
Yes.
Marlon Perkins.
Yes. All right. I never saw anything like this in National Geographic or anything.
Those Disney used to make these like Academy Award winning short films about critters that used to bore the living crap out of you while you're waiting for some horrible movie like Hercules Saves the World.
Now
At the 75-cent matinee.
Yeah.
But I never saw anything about people surrendering to the exigencies of love like a crocodile or something.
Well, but you mentioned that there was a terrible rumor that the crocodile hunter who passed away at age 44, Steve Irwin,
Was trying to have surrender to the exigencies of love.
he may have,
Aquatic love.
he may have pushed his luck, if you know what I mean.
Well, that was the stingray that killed him, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I just, you got to be a little careful about,
Swimming with the fishes.
That's right. That's right.
One of them might be a shark.
That's right.
Shark.
It's a wicked shark.
You know how you kill a great white shark? There's a pod of orcas in L.A. They grab a hold of them, then they turn over, and that explodes their bladders. And they do it just for fun.
For real?
Yeah,
really?
orcas like to kill for fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's bad.
Why is it bad?
Killing for fun? I
They
mean,
enjoy, then they'll breach.
I mean, I'm not saying I never have, but
It's a hell of a pod. They're
just
they're
said-
battle scarred from fighting great white.
I just said that out loud.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Oh. You're kind of battle scarred, but you are an old, well, not an old Yeti.
Oh, Fred sent me a fun song we'll play to end the show in a bit.
Where's Glenn?
No, Fred knows better. He's a radio guy. He knows I can't play anything filthy. Where is
because
Glenn?
you won't float your old show.
Huh?
Ach, the Liebe, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
we.
yeah, oh,
I haven't
yeah.
seen much of Glenn lately. Perhaps he's busy adopting.
He lives on Orange Street?
Orange Street.
Does he? You did reveal that.
Where does he live?
I haven't been here for a while.
I just know that he hasn't been here for a while.
He hasn't.
No. I'm gonna go
He
ahead.
was here last week.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it now because I want to make sure nobody leaves. You got to stick around for the rest of the show because at the end of the show, I'm going to play a song called "I Like Sheep" by Mr. Bob Cheevers. So stick around for that because that's how we'll be ending today's show with a song called "I Like Sheep." Thank you, Fred. Fred Boenig from thedailyripple.org. He always sends good stuff.
He does?
Yes, he does.
Oh.
You got into a bit of an argument with Fred once on the show, but I can't remember what it was about.
Well, I was thinking out loud about white privilege, and, basically I agree with you guys, but, I was just thinking about it. We can talk about it some other time. You have to do it with a little, what we're actually talking
White
about.
privilege, yes, that's what it was.
Rather than, like, going off on, sounding like a Nazi or something.
Oh, he sent another song, too.
White privilege? He did send a song about that.
No, he sent a song called I Like... No, he sent a song about squirrels.
I'm spotted privileged.
You're what?
Spotted privileged.
Oh.
The Romans called the Celts the spotted people.
Oh, right.
See all the spots?
Oh, wow, you're so spotted. I think those are freckles. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed in the afternoon. Who's this?
Ach, the Liebe.
Good afternoon, Matthew. This is Mr. Doyle speaking.
Oh.
Mike Doyle, how are you, sir?
Ooh.
Good, how you doing? How'd the holidays go?
Oh, fine.
If you like vegetarian stuff.
Yeah, John Hopwood had a vegetarian Thanksgiving, which to me...
Yeah, I was shocked too. I turned on, I was just seeing who was on, seeing if you were on, and I saw Hopwood, and I thought he was banned for life for being a knucklehead.
Oh, no, this is America. We don't ban people for being knuckleheads.
That's for using your filthy word.
Yes, you did use some profanity
I didn't think
one day.
it would be on the air.
Right.
Yeah, I think he lost his mind there. You're having a little discussion about something.
That's right.
Something Trumpyism got a burr under his saddle.
He had a burr in his saddle, a bee in his bonnet, and a bat in his belfry all at once.
And spotted, too.
And he's spotted, yes, which I didn't know about him until just now. He showed me.
Yeah, so what's going on?
Right.
I haven't heard you. I was listening to the show for a little bit, and I didn't hear any confrontations or anything. I said, boy, that's not a typical Matt Connarton show. Usually there's all kinds of stuff flying around.
Oh, well, no, we've had quite a bit flying around. We were just talking about sex with animals a few minutes ago.
Do you think the guy...
yeah, that's what I mean. That's exactly my point.
Well, that's
guy
a big issue. It's gripping the nation.
I know. The guy who assaulted that dying beaver definitely sounds like
I wanted to ask both your
Mm.
opinions, all right? And this is in all seriousness.
It's about baseball?
If you were president of the United States, what would you do with the situation at the border with the caravan of people coming this way? I'm just looking. It just amazes me that when this stuff happens and they just can't wait to jump down Trumpies that he's doing. No matter what move he makes, he's doing it wrong. But more important than that, the Democrats are like hiding under the bed. They're just nobody wants to say, well, why don't we try this or why don't we try that? And again, Matt, you know how many times I've said to you,
Mike,
why don't we make an attempt to everybody to get towards the middle more? Why does it have to be so much to the left, hard right, hard left, and hard this, and instead of, at some point, those people are supposed to be representing us, and somewhere along the line we forgot that. And so I just don't understand why we don't hear anything from Democrats about what they would do.
Well,
so I'm wondering what you guys would do in that situation.
I as I told you, but you didn't listen. I agree with Trump on immigration, but I don't agree with the way he goes about it. It's ham-fisted and it has, repercussions.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to find a way to process these people and not turn them away. I mean, they're coming here for, seeking asylum. But obviously, I mean, but they have to come in peacefully, And if
I know, but you understand there is a percentage of those people that have either been turned away once before, have been here and sent back, may even be part of MS-13 gang. There is a percentage, whether it be 10%, 15%, 20%. I mean, at what point, you can't, throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing.
Here's the point.
How do you get to the bottom of this? Don't think that every person in that caravan is 100% legit and they're all looking for asylum. Because many of them, and when you see the news articles, many of them are strong adult men, and they have the ability to go to work. If they can walk 1,100 miles or however many miles it is from 1,600 miles, they can certainly get a job somewhere in a field picking fruit or picking whatever. And, I understand that everybody wants to come to the land of an opportunity versus Honduras or whatever, but how do you sort out that? If you listen to the directors of ICE, they say it's a huge problem. These people are trying to sneak in. Same with never mind these caravans, same with just people coming over with children. And you get a guy who comes over the border with a young child, and then they say they don't speak English, which they do, but they don't speak English. How do you know that guy is legit and not some kind of mule or some kind of kidnapper of that child?
He's not going to stop.
No, I know.
Mike, give us a break. I'm just going to say, even if they're all, none of them are anyway violent or involved in violence or anything. One of the things that the left is hawking the bona fides to bring the people in is that these are women escaping the patriarchal violence introduced by Western European colonizers, and that the Catholic Church and the culture they created down in the South America and Central America is patriarchal, and thus makes them political refugees. That's something that is not you. If you go and read, you'll find those arguments. But when you're on TV, cable TV, it's just a show that they're making. Oh, right, wrong, black, white, no subtleties at all.
Yeah,
but no argument. Notice the percentage I used was 10 or 15% that maybe have a criminal background, maybe doing something, non-logical, irrational, whatever the case may be. So that leaves, 80, 85%, 90%. Maybe these women, some women and children, you see them in the line, and we want to help them. Who doesn't want to help them? You really think Donald Trump wants to turn away a woman and a child?
Oh, I don't think
who is in serious strife and
no, I don't think he cares. I don't think he personally cares.
Do you believe, Mike, that a woman has a right to escape the passive sexual role obliged of them by the culture in Central America and South America, and that gives them political standing as a refugee? Because that's what's being used.
Well, what I think is, there is a process for processing refugees, and if you're so worried about the adult males who are in shape who might be a threat, they go to the back of the line. But let the women and the kids in, get them processed, vet them.
But what are they escaping?
But there is
escaping patriarchy?
Right.
So the entire world, 4 billion people, and people that are outside of Western Europe and where there is, any degree of feminism, that entire world has a right to come to the United States?
You think the entire world is trying to come to the United States all of a sudden just because of this caravan?
If they could.
Well, we got to deal with what's in front of us, which is the caravan.
Australia, with 250 million Indonesians, they put them in place. They hire places in Papua New Guinea, and they never let them come to Australia, and they put them there so they can't get into Australia because they would be quickly overwhelmed. I don't know how many people in Australia, 10 million or maybe, I'm not sure. When you face 250 million people within less than a day coming in on a raft, they've been having this problem too.
So are you making the argument then that we shouldn't take any asylum seekers? Because if we take anybody, we have to take everybody, and that's unacceptable that we take everybody?
Well, what is valid as political asylum? I had a friend that was in John Doe's government. He was an American Liberian.
Yeah.
Then he was in John Doe's revolutionary government. If he had gone back to Liberia, he'd have been murdered.
Right.
Now, he got political asylum.
As he should have, of course.
But, is the patriarchy, is that a valid thing?
Well, yeah, if these people are in danger.
And then you're talking about the one of the things. Oh, we're all being threatened by gangs. Geez, be in any major city in America, Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles. You're threatened by gangs there too.
Yeah, I don't think they went through all this trouble and went on this very dangerous trip because it's not because the threats that they face are not a big deal.
I have no idea why they're doing this. Whether it could be Trump behind it, or Trump supporters behind it.
I think the threats that they're under have got to be pretty severe to take this trip.
Of course they do. Oh, right.
Really? You think they just said, let's just walk up?
I have no idea. I'm not there, Matt.
Well, I'm not either, but I find it hard to believe that they would go through all this.
I know that they
and risk being turned away because of maybe there's some burglaries in their neighborhood. So they're like, let's just walk to the United States.
So you think that's a valid thing? This left-wing ideology about the patriarchy.
Well, let me offer one thing. And believe it or not, I kind of agree with Hopwood a tad of what he's saying, and that's very rare. But why don't these governors and senators and congressmen in each state say, you know what, we want to help all these people. Our resources are low at the border, so we're all going to give some of our National Guard from each state to go down there. We're gonna have each state give another 100 guys or women and get down and help with the processing of all these people. You know what I mean? Why can't we work together and figure out this problem? Why does it have to be he's so wrong, she's so wrong? The only way to figure out if this is legit asylum people, or there is some issue behind this, or this is happening for a non-legit reason, is to process these people and find out who they are.
But that's not Trump's
the only way
position.
we can do it. So let's all work together and figure out a way to get that done.
I agree with you.
This is not rocket science.
No, I agree with you 100%. But how do you do that when the president's position is, nope, we're not letting them in? It's a caravan. It's terribly dangerous. It's an invasion. He's used the
we
word
have to stop him
invasion.
at some point
Well, he
before we
uses
have the resources
hyperbole.
to do that.
Yeah, but how do you?
You know,
Trump's not
give
interested
me
in
what
processing
you're
them.
saying
So
is
how do you
he's
process
stopping
them?
them. Well, tell me what the alternative is.
Here we go. Asylum fraud in Chinatown, a New York Times article from 2014.
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, I'm not gonna, I can't tell you a certain thing, but illegal Chinese immigrants are brought in by boat to New York.
Yeah, I'm sure there's
To
all
New
kinds
York.
of fraud.
Yeah.
So kill the whole
And all
thing.
you
No,
have to
no
say to
asylum.
somebody, all you have to do is coach somebody with a certain words. I am escape, and that, and
Yeah.
that under the UN gets you asylum. But
Yeah.
but a country like Australia, which is just can't take these pressures, develop something that contravenes the UN conventions. It keeps them offshore.
Mhm.
Process them.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people? California has 45 million people. We had a thing when we were talking about white privilege that time. There was a guy from California. He's not going to talk about certain things because, then you'd be a racist. But when I was there was 29 million people in 1989. Now there's 45 million people. They say 40. You can get overwhelmed.
Sure.
Who's going to pay for it?
Poppy, you're starting to sound more like a Republican.
Oh, on this issue, yeah, he does very much.
But Democrats were always against. Democrats were against immigration because it lowers wages. That's well known.
I know. They're
That's
just
well
silent
known.
on it. But they're just silent on this issue.
Yeah, because
they don't want to raise it. They don't want to come up with a. Never mind being silent. You're supposed to be there to help. We elected you to help. Now there's a problem at the border, and let's not just call it the border. Let's call it the border of California, Arizona, New Mexico, and possibly Texas.
Texas too.
Who's helping those states? Who's helping the people of those communities down there? You can't just let these people come over the border. There are people who live in those communities.
Well, they do
You can't
come
just
over
say,
the
"Here,
border,
come on in.
no
We don't know
matter
if you're good, bad, or indifferent. Come on in." So I just don't understand why people don't want to help. They all want to take sides and say, "You're wrong. You're wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong." Instead of saying, "You know what? What's the friggin' solution here? Let's figure out the solution."
Well, I agree with you, but that has to also apply to the president. It can't just be everybody else. That also has to apply to Trump, and Trump is
right. But his first solution was, "I'm not letting 8,000 people just walk over the border. All right, we're stopping them here until we figure out how we're going to play this."
Well, didn't he close
and he
the
sent
border
extra
between
troops
Tijuana?
to help with the. What do you want him to do, though, Matt? That's my question.
Right,
He's in a tough spot. What do you want him to do? He either stops them, or he says, "Come on, everybody, come on through."
No, it's not an either or we process them, and if they can't all come in because we have to process them, and that's going to take some time.
Yeah, but what
then
are the
that's
standards
then that's
for
what it's going to be.
What are the standards for political asylum? The patriarchy. Oh, they did this or that, or I'm threatened by this. There's things that are so nebulous and so universal. It doesn't mean anything. This isn't somebody under threat of being murdered.
Yeah.
Which people like from the old Soviet Union. I was educated by people that escaped the Soviet Union, which was no mean thing. And but for Israel and the power of Israel lobby and Jews here that took up the cause, there was who was the great senator from Washington, Scoop Jackson, in the Jackson Amendment, that the Soviet Union, to get our wheat, had to allow certain numbers of people to emigrate.
I just don't think that women with very young children decided to make this incredible trip because maybe their husbands are bossing them around at home. And
so
this is a patriarchy. I'm going to walk to America now because my husband is mean to me. I mean,
how do you know?
I think they're escaping some pretty severe conditions, and there's some pretty severe conditions in Honduras and Guatemala.
Yeah, so why don't you join the military and go and overthrow the patriarchy down there? It worked really well under Reagan, didn't it?
Well, yeah, we created the problem to some extent, but of course we don't want to deal with the consequences, do we?
80,000 peasants.
But Matt, Mexico has towns and provinces and whatever. Why aren't they stopping there for asylum?
They're not exactly
Why aren't they
happy.
saying, help me? I'm over the border now.
Some of them did.
I'm away from this harm that you're talking about.
Yeah,
why aren't they stopping in some of the cities in Mexico and saying, it's probably closer of a reach for them grammatically and culturally. That area is probably closer to the Honduras than it is to.
They don't have the money.
So why
some
aren't
of
they
them
stopping in those?
Some of them
just
did.
Coming right through.
Some of them did, but
really
Mexico.
Not the problem.
Mexico's
the problem
telling
is,
them
why
to
aren't
keep
we
going.
working together to figure this out? And nobody wants. They just want to blame everything on Trump. So.
Yeah, but he doesn't do much to.
Hey, I know. And there's only one other certainty, Matt, and I'll hang up.
Yeah.
is that the minute I hang up, since you only have one line, your boy Fred from wherever he's from there will call and take a shot at me, like he likes to do every time.
Well,
so
we'll see.
I'll wait and listen to his response, because I'm sure there'll be one.
All right, Mike. Thanks for the call.
Talk to you later. See you guys.
All
Happy
right.
holidays.
All right. Bye-bye. You too. All right. That was Mike Doyle. And by the way, you can sometimes hear Mike on the morning show. He, I think usually at least once a week, he comes in and joins Peter White and Lenny.
On Fridays.
And, is it Fridays?
Yeah. Hey, there's 8 billion people in the world.
Yeah.
There's just such population pressures now. This was all predicted in books I read from the 1960s, and everything that's happening now was predicted. That the great pressures of population. Of course, everybody's going to try to get into an advanced country.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed in the Afternoon. Who's this?
Fred Boenig.
It's your favorite other guy.
What's up, Fred from thedailyripple.org? How are you, my friend?
Oh yeah, I was just coughing hard, laughing. Good old Mike. Well, Mike, actually, here's what happened. You see, we have laws that allow this. It's part of an international law about asylum. So if they would actually just do what they have always done, and let people come in, they process them, they let them go through. When Mike Doyle, probably being someone who came from Ireland, or from Europe, came through in Ellis Island, his relatives, they were coming through at 5,000 a day. They were brought through in an average waiting time of 3 hours.
Different
5,000 a day through Ellis Island. It only took 3 hours to get off the island.
Yeah.
So,
different circumstances.
So for him to be judging these, people because they're strong, well, so was your great-grandfather who didn't speak English
ridiculous.
either.
That's a historicist, fallacy to go back to the past and pretend it's the same
How
situation.
far back do we have to go? I mean, they stopped using Ellis Island in the 50s.
It isn't. It isn't the same situation back then.
Well, I don't think anyone's saying it's the exact same situation, but I think historical context is helpful.
But it's not the same situation. You had
Well,
Milton
no,
Friedman.
What's the difference? The people that were leaving Ireland were leaving because they were starving, right? Because of the potato blight. The reason why people are leaving Guatemala is because 70% of the children in Guatemala are starving to death. Suffering from starvation. That's a U.S. fact. I posted it for you.
That's a U.S.
There's
fact.
a huge problem with food and
because
and
of
income
overpopulation
in their country. They can't afford to buy food.
Because of overpopulation.
No, there's only 3 million people in the whole country. Stop.
Well, they don't have enough food, do they?
In which
they don't have it. No, the between the farming and the bad, farm management, whoever does that. And also remember that if you go back in time, it was the U.S. government in 1953 that overthrew their government. You have the Dulles brothers. I'm sure you know who they are. Those guys in the United Fruit Company, and it was the reason why all that's happened is they put in right-wing governments, fascist governments. They had socialist governments that may or not work.
Socialist
they didn't ever
government.
actually get
now
a
we went
chance
from
because
fascist to socialist.
We supplied the Contras to kill 40,000 people.
Actually, it was 80,000 in El Salvador.
Okay, 80,000. You're right. Thank you.
El
Better.
Salvador.
Yeah. Right, but so a lot of this
and I didn't
problem
vote for Ronald
was
Reagan.
created by our capitalistic ways.
Right. Well, we do tend to create our own issues. It's like the comment you made in the chat, that we always arm the wrong people.
And the United States going into World War I, which it should have kept out of. But for that, Germany would have got a little more than a stalemate, probably would have defeated the Allies in 1918, and you wouldn't get Hitler. Yeah, wow, but it didn't happen that way.
Okay. And the other thing is, what he's saying is the Democrats aren't doing anything.
You can't go back in time.
That's the people that are actually doing a lot of it. The people that are stopping it, from the rules that we've already had in place. There's an international law that says you're not allowed to turn asylum seekers back.
Australia's got around that. And if in 2010, Brown, the Prime Minister of Britain, lied about 2 million immigrants in the UK, which were from Poland.
Mm-hmm.
And that cost Labour the election.
Mm-hmm.
And you see all over Europe, the pressure is being put. And that was inter-EU, what would you call it? Migration. Now you see that Britain's going out of the European Union, partly because of
Well, that's how they sold
the
Brexit.
pressures
Yeah.
are something that are real. Throughout history, the pressures of the pressures, population pressures. If you read your Marx, you can go back to Marx. He doesn't comment about it, but that's one of the drivers of history.
But you
People
really don't.
moving
You don't
into
think
that.
we can absorb these people? You really
We
don't.
can't absorb the people we've got with this fictional bull we've got, the Milton Friedman economics. We've got a Democratic Party that's Milton Friedman, the trickle-down school of economics. Look at from FDR up to 1965. There were tight controls on immigration because of the Great Depression and that, although they did start in 1922. I often think would African Americans had an easier time getting raised right. And this sounds like when I once used this with Jim O'Connor. He says, "Oh, you sound like Booker T. Washington rather than W.E.B. Du Bois." That they would, if you think of the economy as I would think of it as a jungle. And if you think about Darwin, that there are niches that people can go into. All of a sudden you free the slaves once again in 1964 and 65 with the Civil Rights Act of 64, which was revolutionary, and the 65 Voting Rights Act. But then suddenly in 65, the great liberal majority that was elected in 64 throws open the borders. So you have the greengrocer industry in LA and New York is taken over by Korean immigrants. African Americans don't have the capital and the ability to go into that niche. Whereas other immigrant groups, where it could be Irish, Italian, Jews, start up an economic ladder. You're bringing in people that had capital, and these aren't political refugees, but they had capital and they come here. There's great tensions between the African American and the Koreans when I was in L.A. There's all these stories, that are melting pot and the mosaic and the tapestry we have now. Just whitewashes in a way. There were real tensions. You're taking... Except what?
Except...
Because everybody can be a millionaire in America.
Let Fred respond.
John, you've been...
Yes, I put the microphone over here. I got to write a check.
Except in October, there was 60,000 apprehensions at the border. All right? People walk across that border, 60,000, all right, in a month. We're talking about 5,000 people here, and we can't absorb them. There's 60,000 crossing the border regularly.
Right.
All right? You know what I mean? It's not like, oh my God, these are the only people coming across the border. These are the people that they have on TV.
So let everybody. Why not let everybody in? We can put them in your neighborhood.
And these are the people trying to do it legally.
Right.
These are the
I have
people
no
trying
idea
to do
what's
it legally.
driving this. It could be Trump himself.
No, but Fred makes an important point there, though. These are people who are trying to come in legally. They're trying to come in through a legal process.
Yeah, there's plenty of illegals.
They're not
over here.
sneaking across.
Right.
People are brought in,
and
like
the
I
other
told you,
part
the
that you
Chinese
have to keep in mind is we have 7 million jobs that we don't have anybody to do.
Right.
Yeah, because they don't pay wages. One of the things about immigration is it's a break on wages. You can go back to, I'm reading a thing from 1880, but they're talking about when they get rid of the laws governing the ships, the British ships that came around the time of Cromwell, where every good going into a Britain or a colony had to be on a British ship, and free trade. And they're talking about Adam Smith. And one of the arguments they make is this policy, the wages of the British workers went up, up, up. And that's a bad thing. But, what we can do is just let everybody live on debt, right? $15 trillion in consumer debt. It's like this being in Alice in Wonderland in a way.
Well, Trump even said at a press conference, because, he doesn't want to let anybody in. He doesn't want to process anybody. But he
doesn't even reason.
He even said at one point that we do need people to fill these jobs. We've got crops that are rotting when there's no one to tend to them.
Try paying people a living wage. Try giving them a future so they're not strung out on meth, making love to dying beavers.
They get a work
you talk about this country.
Hang on.
Minimum wage should be $21.
Fred, John's talking without his headphones on, so he can't hear when you're talking. So
yeah, I got to get going.
Well, tell him to put his headphones on because it sounds like he's going on and not giving anybody else any time.
All right. He's taking off. So go ahead, Fred. Say what you were going to say. Sorry.
So my point was, that we have a lot of jobs that these people can do, that they will learn to do as our grandparents learned to do, as people learn to do entrepreneurship. We know that from the government-funded study that immigrants bring in $65 billion, worth of income. They're a positive. They're not a negative drag on it. And the second generation of that are usually educated kids. They send their kids to school. The kids do very well. My daughter-in-law, her grandmother walked from Mexico to Denver carrying a baby and 3 little kids behind her, walked here. Now her granddaughter is going for her master's.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, that's just the American way.
Right.
But the other thing that we have to keep in mind as old people, and me being 60, somebody's got to keep paying into that Social Security. And because Americans don't make babies like they used to, we have less people that will be paying in. So it's a good thing to have young people, young, strong people who are healthy, who can come here and work. You give them a card, a visa. You don't have to give them a green card. You don't have to give them anything. But when they work, they are documented. They pay taxes.
Right.
That's all it's about, is getting people into the tax base.
Yeah.
And if you let them walk across the border the other way, then they got to hide. And then they got to either steal the Social Security card, or they got to, you don't want that. You want them to, you want to know who they are, that they're legally here so that everybody can hire them. And they can go pluck chickens, or they can go become, scientists in someday or whatever. But it's about letting people work and letting them work legally so they can pay taxes.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
No.
That's how I see it.
Absolutely.
Just let people pay taxes.
Right.
They don't get because these people in general don't get much of. If you're here illegally, you can't get food stamps. Your children might be able to get some kind of schooling or something, but the truth is that if you really look at the data on that, it's not like they're this huge drain on it.
Right.
That's probably more about the residents who live here, refuse to work.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because one of the ways that these folks are demonized by people who are anti-immigration is, they come here and they don't contribute anything and they just live off the system. And no, that's not how it works. And actually,
I don't see a bunch of them. Every time I go someplace where there's guys mowing lawns, or they're the guys that have 4 jobs. They're doing everything.
Yeah, they come here to work, and they work hard. And
think of this, Matt. You just lost 19,000 homes that have to be rebuilt. The floods in North Carolina.
Great
all
point.
That work. It's only going to get worse.
That's a great point.
All that construction work, all that plumbing, heating, all that money, that just 19,000 homes.
Right.
That's and in California, 19,000 a home. You're not buying a home for 100,000 in California.
Somebody's got to swing those hammers.
Homes, you know what I mean? Just because they're junk, they're almost $1 million.
Right.
So especially in that area.
Yeah.
So all this stuff has to be rebuilt. All these jobs that are going to be created.
Yep.
They got to find labor for those.
Exactly.
And, we're not going to have less floods. We're not going to have less hurricanes.
Right. That's a really good point.
There's going to be a constant supply of people. And I know people be like, yeah, well, they're going to get paid less. Not if they're legally here, they're not.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you 100%, Fred. And John, I guess, got frustrated and left. He said adios as he was leaving the studio. I guess that was his parting shot. But it's weird, John's pretty, I think, liberal overall. But when it comes to immigration, he sounds like he really does sound like a conservative. It's kind of surprising sometimes. But oh well.
Well, I say this. Look, I'm not afraid of people. They're all humans. They're humans.
Right.
Because you had the benefit of your mother being on one side of a line versus another, and that you weren't aborted, makes you, superior to someone else. I mean, really, you're just on one side of a line that's an imaginary line that's 20, half a million years ago there was no line. 200 years ago there was no line. 100 years ago in some cases we're in a line.
Right.
But because somebody made a line, you're better. You deserve more.
Right, I know.
And this whole country is based on people coming here from everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, the melting pot.
And
yeah.
it's not about who you are. It's about the American spirit of, working to make a better life for your children.
Right. It's funny we're almost out of time, but about the line, it reminds me of, I wish I could remember who said it, because I thought this was an interesting insight, but I heard someone say once that a border, and this is kind of a hypersimplification, but everyone will get the point. A border is really just a place where two armies finally decided to stop fighting.
Yep.
And that became the border. That became the line. And that's all.
Yep.
That's all it is. And then by an accident of birth, we're all very fortunate to have ended up here. To be Americans, because fate or God or the universe or just the chance of it all, dropped us in a pretty cool place to be in an optimum circumstance. But you're right. I mean, it's just because we were fortunate enough to be born here. But we're all people, and we all deserve a shot. And I'm sure some people listening think, me saying something like that, I sound like a bleeding heart liberal, but yeah, whatever. I'll take that.
Well, and because I'm sure, I'm not sure, but I might believe that Mike Doyle would say, well, Fred, then why don't you take some yourself? Take some and house some yourself. Well, I just want to say, Mike, I've housed 2 homeless families for free in my apartments for years.
Wow.
I have 2 foster kids. So he can say whatever he wants, but I've done my part.
Well, in Mike's defense, I'm not sure that he would say that. He might say that. I don't know. But no.
A lot of people have said that when I'm saying, well, let them in.
Right.
It's like, well, where are they going to stay? Why don't you let them stay at your house?
Some people.
Like, dude,
yeah.
I already do.
I do hear people say things like that. Yeah. Well, Fred, we're going to let you go because I want to play one of these songs
play that
you
song.
sent me.
You're going to like the song. I promise you.
I'm going to give this a spin. So thank you so much for the call, my friend.
Talk to you later, boss.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, that was Fred Boenig from thedailyripple.org. So thank you, Fred, for calling in. Thank you to Mike Doyle for calling earlier. Thank you to John Hopwood for being here, although he seemed to be annoyed when he left, but that happens. Thank you to everybody in the Facebook live chat. And this has been Matt Connarton Unleashed in the Afternoon. If you miss any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org. where we do archive all the shows. And we're going to close it out this week with this track Fred sent me. This is by Mr. Bob Cheevers. And if you don't know why I'm playing this is why it's important to listen to the entire show, every scintillating second of Matt Connarton Unleashed. And the name of the song is I Like Sheep. And I'll talk at y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.